Hey, welcome back, Whiskey Questers. For everybody new to the channel, my name's Antonio, and this is gonna be my annual Halloween special. And with me here today is gonna be a little bit of a art bag, because you can't have Halloween or ghost stories or any creepy stuff without some art bag, because art bag is, I think, sets the mood for that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, at least for me. So right here, none other than the Wee Beastie. Reviewed this a while ago. If you guys want to check it out, I'll link it up right here. But I thought this time I will come out here and do a Halloween video without all the theatrical stuff that I normally do in my videos for, you know, these type of occasions. You guys haven't checked out my previous Halloween videos, I'll put them in the description below. Check them out if you want. They were fun videos. So today I'm just gonna get straight into some ghost stories that have happened at my parents' house. So these are real things that have happened to people that have lived in our house. It's not made up, you know. It's a little hard to swallow, but if you believe in certain things being, you know, that you can't see, just telling you guys this right now, I'm getting chills in the back of my neck. So it's gonna be a fun night. So let's get a little bit darker here. Yeah. So just a little bit backstory. My parents' house and the neighbor's house right next to them, weird things have happened in both of these houses, and we never knew about our neighbors having these creepy things going on in their house until one day just conversation came about. And my neighbor actually dug into the history, you know, of that neighborhood, and turns out that their house and my parents' house used to be connected, and the neighbor's house used to be a church, and my parents' house was the back of the church where they had like Sunday school and stuff like that. And across the street we have our other neighbors, that their property used to be a graveyard for, you know, the churches. You know, I guess back in the day they had graveyards right next to them. So when she told us this, it just started making sense why a lot of things were happening in both our houses. So one of the things that happened to us, well, before I get into the whole ghost story, a little bit more things going on. First of all, back in those days, my uncle came on board with my dad as a property owner partner, you know. So he was living with us at the time, and we were doing some renovations, and the upstairs bedrooms did not have any insulation. So in the winter, it was a little bit too cold. We had to have the heater running a lot. So needless to say, we had to insulate the walls. And so they were old walls. This is like like I said, it's a really old house, like 19, I don't know what year. I should look up what year. If I can find out, I'll put it down here. But anyways, yeah. So they took down all the drywall, ceiling, and walls. And when they took it down, the creepiest thing, I mean, I guess people could do this as a gag, but I mean, there was an old bag in there, and inside the bag was a whole bunch of like women's underwear and bras, you know, like some old school stuff. So that was like, when we saw it, it was like, what the hell is going on here? So I mean, we just threw it away. Another thing they found behind the walls was this old skeleton key that none of the rooms ever had, you know, one of those doors with a skeleton key, except for this one room where they took down all the walls. The closet door had a skeleton key hole. So, you know, we tried it, but nothing really happened. So we're like, oh well, whatever, you know. So we just threw it away. And then shortly after all that we settled in the house, it's when my uncle Miguel started having visits at the middle of the night. So again, I'm getting chills just retelling these stories. Every time I tell people these stories, I get chills. So yeah, so some of the things that happened to him, and the most creepiest one that I can remember right now, top of my head, was he would talk about a priest that would show up in his room, and there's two windows, one on this side and one on this side, and he said that the priest would go out one window and come in the other, and his bed's like right there in between the two windows. So the priest just kept running around in circles, screaming in the middle of the night. And so when my neighbor told us that the houses were together and it used to be a church, that's when it got really creepy. That my uncle was like, what the hell is going on here? So let me take a little sip here, guys. My mouth is getting dry just telling you guys these stories. Oh yeah, fantastic stuff, Arbeg. But yeah, anyways, so he was talking about these stuff, and back then nothing had really happened to me, so you could say I wasn't believing him, but it was intriguing, and it did creep me out, but it was like, okay, whatever, it's like you're just being a big baby. Except one day when I came home from school, and I was already I think it was around 12 o'clock midnight when I got home, and right at the corner down the street, there was all this ambulances and cops, and me just being nosy, I wanted to go see what happened. And when I got closer, I saw that there was a motorcycle that had just gotten hit, and I saw the dude over there being assessed by the paramedics. So I was like, damn, it's I knew it was a bad accident, because once you see a motorcycle down, I used to ride a motorcycle myself, and knew a few people that had some pretty bad accidents. Luckily, they're still around to tell their story, but yeah, bike accidents are no joke. And so anyways, I went back home, went to sleep, and in the morning I come downstairs and I hear my uncle, overheard my uncle telling my mom that again, somebody came to visit him at night, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, was it the priest? And he's like, no, fucking Tony, it's like it wasn't the priest. He was like, this one dude, standing there with a motorcycle helmet. And I was like, last night when I got home from school, there was a bike accident down the street. And he's like, shut the hell up. I'm like, I'm serious. I'm like, how am I gonna make this stuff up? And when he said that, connected it, I was like, oh man, this is really trippy. So yeah, things like that have happened in my parents' house that are a little crazy to believe, but have happened to both my uncle, my brother. To me, I never, nothing crazy like that. The only creepy thing that happened to me was one day. It was Thanksgiving Day. Everybody was over. All my uncles were over, and they had their kids with them. So all my little cousins were running around, and we were in the basement watching a movie. And at least to me, this was my excuse. I was hungover as hell, so I was sitting down on the couch, just trying to sober up. And I'm sitting there, and then nobody next to me, but I swear I felt like the cushions just sink down, like when somebody sits right next to you. And I didn't say nothing. I just kept it to myself. And actually, this is the very first time I'm admitting it, because my brother Johnny's, he's had some weird experiences in that house too. And so yeah, I'm owning up to it. I did feel something weird. Yeah, it's just a lot of things. Just the fact that those houses, that history behind it, makes it even weirder. And my uncle seeing these things, what my brothers have seen, what I felt that one time. So yeah, guys, that's my scary stories for Halloween. I hope it didn't creep you out too much. It sure as hell creeps me out every time I tell it. But yeah, some crazy stuff has happened in that house there. My parents still live there. I'm not a religious person, but my mom, my parents, they are. So they brought in the whole priest thing, blessed this house and everything. And supposedly nobody's heard or felt or seen anything weird since she did that. So, but only only time will tell. We'll see who else comes into that house to, experience something out of the extraordinary. And it's crazy to believe, but I think things do happen. If you guys have your own creepy story, I mean, if it's a little bit too long, I understand, but you can put it down in the comments below. I'm sure other people might want to read it. And with that, I leave you guys with this awesome pour right here. Arbig Wee Beastie is one hell of a whiskey. Something that if you guys haven't tried, I definitely recommend you trying, especially if you like the peaty, smoky side of scotches. And if you don't, beware, because it'll knock your socks off. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me on this creepy Halloween story, ghost storytelling, drinking whiskey episode. All right, cheers, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next episode, and happy Halloween. Cheers.